Hey guys, today is raining here in California, and actually we need rain, but it's kind of sucks when you have to do the backyard chores, then go to work and get wet in the rain. But we need it and we'll live. And today is the election day, so happy election day to everybody. I hope it goes well for all normal people. So, with all the things going around, I personally believe time to prepare is running out. Ooh, rain's getting louder. It's running out, so we really have to do, if we check whatever we haven't done yet and do everything we can to prepare, because with all those diesel shortages and other shortages and things going on in the world, it might affect us, especially those people who depend on grocery stores and utilities and other people doing services like most of us. Today I'm going to talk about ways to prepare, and you can check off if you have done it or haven't done, then you might want to do it. So the first thing is to buy only things to stockpile that you actually consume. Like if nobody in your house uses hairspray, don't buy it. If nobody in your house smokes, don't stockpile those things. And some people say like, oh, I'm gonna stockpile like alcohol and smoking cigarettes and stuff for barter and stuff. Well, I wouldn't want to attract the wrong kind of people to me, the people that addicted, that that have I wouldn't want to deal with people that are addicted to like do any kind of trading, because what if you run out and they're addicted, you know? um, or you don't want to trade anymore for, or they have nothing to give you in exchange and you don't want to like trade with them anymore because they can't give you anything for the stuff you want to trade with them. And if they're addicted, they're gonna go crazy. So don't want those people around. I mean, or at least don't want them to know that you have something that they might need. Um, Another one is to grow some food if possible. I know in many parts of the world, in the winter, you can't really grow anything, but at least you can maybe sprout some grains, some either alfalfa or wheat, or you can probably, I'm gonna try this winter to grow some wheat berries in a container and for the wheatgrass. So I want to see if that's actually gonna work. I'm also growing a few things outside just because we live in California and it's warm enough to do so. So yeah, and in the summer I grow too. I always grow a garden, and as you know, I have chickens and goats and all that stuff. So lots of work, but it's the food we're getting from the backyard. And it's always fresh. We don't have to like store it and worry about the expiration. If you're growing some food in your backyard, make sure you all have all the supplies for it, like the soil and all other things for watering and the seeds. So yeah, if you have any pets or animals, make sure you have enough food for them. Like if you have any chickens or goats, make sure you have enough feed for them. If you have any cats, dogs, or whatever else, make sure you have um, their food, feed to feed them. If not, you might have to have share your own, and I'm sure you don't want to share a lot of those tuna cans with your cats because they're you would want to eat it yourself. The weather's kind of weird. It's raining and sunny at the same time. That's like the best of both things. Also, when storing the food for long term, try at the store, try to buy the ones with the best expiration date. So far, the best one I've seen is the year 2027, like 5 years from now, which is good. And in the store, when I see something that expires in a few months in a can, unless I'm planning to use it immediately, I don't buy it because I would rather spend um, my money on something that I can store somewhere away and use it later. Also, if you can't really garden or if you have too much something of you grew in your garden, you can preserve that food. You can dehydrate if you have a dehydrator, or you can can. I personally don't can a lot. I did can some tomato sauce in year 2020. We ate a few of them, but they're really good, and I'm kind of like trying to save them for later, but it's probably time to use them up. Honestly, canning requires so much work, and after buying the actual stuff you have to put in the can, unless you grow your own and you have surplus, like I had a big surplus of tomatoes in the year 2020, so I canned some sauce, but unless you have your own, it actually I think for me it's more economical to just actually buy canned meat instead of can it myself in the jars, because I mean, if I would have tons of time, maybe I would do it, but with me running around constantly, like work and all that, I just don't have time, and I'd rather work an extra hour and buy, I don't know, a few cans of something instead of like spending 3 hours canning it myself. Also, when you want to store flour it's not gonna store as long as if you buy a whole wheat grains. So I have some wheat grains to use for later. You can use them for many things, like you can sprout them, you can grow them for wheatgrass, and you can later mill them for the flour. So I have one little mill that I bought at, it's actually like a coffee grinder mill, like a hand mill. I chose the hand mill because in case there's no electricity, I'm still be able to do it. So, and it's a really cheap one and a small one. It's gonna take a while because you can only put a small amount in there. So, but I have kids who can do it. So it's gonna be doable, but just in case, because flour is not gonna store as long as the wheat berries. Get some wheat berries. Even Winco has a good price on them compared to all the other sources, but yeah, I looked at Amazon. It's kind of expensive. Also, to be prepared for anything, try to reduce your overhead, which is like the monthly bills you have to pay every month. Like, do you have to pay your either rent or mortgage? Do you have those loans you have to pay every month, with which either car or any other kind of loans, or a credit card, because the interest rates are going up, so those credit cards interest probably also gonna go up a lot. Sorry, the sun is shining in my eyes. In case if your income goes down for whatever reason, or the prices of all the necessities you have to buy, it's gonna go up too much. Well, first you already stockpiled some of them, so you're gonna not gonna need to buy as much. Um, Also, if you don't have all those money going out for all those debts, even if your income will go down, you still should be able to afford more than if you would have huge payments that you have to pay every month. Also, right now, because we are like getting everywhere in our cars, and like even going to work, you have to have a car. Otherwise, you can't really, for most people, you can't really get to it, and unless you have a car. And like going, like some people, they can't even get to a grocery store unless they have a car, because that's too far. So try to form local relationships, like uh, maybe get to know people that are around you, see if they're growing any food that you might want to either trade with them, or like maybe help them out with something, and they give you a little bit of something they grow that you need. So try to form it locally, so that if there's like no way you can drive anywhere because there's probably no gas or something, you can actually walk to places and get what you need. Also, like our church is like 15 miles away from our house, right? So if there's no gas or something, you can't really get to it. So we found a really good small local church that's like within 2 miles from our house. It's like same denomination and everything, and um, The only thing is for our kids, it doesn't have any activities because it's mostly older people, but it's really, the people are really nice and friendly. So we often go there. So like if for some reason we can't go all the way 15 miles away to the our big church we normally go to, we can always go to this small one that's like we can actually walk to if we have to. Another very important tip, um, don't show or tell anybody about your preps. Well, I kind of, on YouTube, I kind of tell everybody that I'm prepping, yeah, but I don't really show where am I hiding those. Maybe we ate them already, like maybe they spoiled, you never know. But don't tell everybody that what you have, because well, first of all, if you have more than they do, they're gonna call you hoarder, which is the least of anybody's problems, right? But the thing is, when they have no food at home and they're hungry, oh, they know that you have something, and they're gonna come to your house. Well, especially if they live somewhere close with like walking distance. If they live 1,000 miles away, they probably won't. Like most of you probably live far away from me, that or whoever's watching the video, they're not gonna be able to get to my house. But and a lot of things are even not even in my house, so like you really have to dig up my backyard to see everything. But you know, but don't tell anybody where you buried all those preps, because they might go and dig up your backyard. Well, tell them in the springtime before you have to plant your garden, like, hey, I have something in there, you might dig up my garden, so you don't have to do it yourself. But um yeah, but don't tell anybody. Another very important thing that, oh, that sound is going crazy, that I really had to readjust once the 2020 happened. I'm not saving money anymore because money is losing value. S- uh, Save things, things that you're actually going to be using, like all those necessity thing. And this is so weird when the quarantine stuff started in 2020, how they're like divided things like essentials and not essentials, like essentials workers and non-essentials workers. It's like I even saw somewhere a video like getting food is essential, but some lady wanted to get the feminine hygiene products. Oh, that's not essentials. I mean, like, this is just as essential as the toilet paper. And, like, normally before that, we never heard this is essential and this is non essential. But all of a sudden, whoever was making those rules divided things into essentials and non-essentials. This was like so weird to me, like, because we're like frugal people trying to save money. We try to prioritize essential things over non-essential, and normally other most people don't do it, but all of a sudden they started like dividing those things on non-essential and essentials. That was like so weird to me, like how do they know what's essential? I mean, only I know it and other frugal people know it, right? They don't know it. I mean, they're spending money like in Congress, they don't know what's essential, right? But somehow they were able to divide it by essential and non-essential. Another important thing is don't waste anything that still can be used. In our house we don't waste anything, even any food scraps are used for feeding the chickens or goats. If it's something that's like somebody chewed up, like an apple core, it goes to chickens, because goats would not eat anything that a person would bite, because they for some reason they smell it and they don't want to eat it. But like even banana peels, chickens eat it, goats eat it, so it goes to those animals. So anything, like even when I rinse a pot from after something was cooked in it, it goes either to dogs or chickens, or even those after you wash the dishes, on the bottom of your sink, there's gonna be like a few like small food scraps eat from the dishes. It would probably be enough to feed uh like maybe 1/10 of what one chicken would eat in a day, but it's still something. Instead of throwing it away, this is better. So Even like any clothes, if they got holes in them, those rags would be useful for either cleaning something or even starting a fire instead of, because you might not have lots of um, like paper or something, because even um, because right now, okay, we get lots of junk mail, but for some reason for the last year or so we get way less junk mail. So when I need to start the fire in my wood stove, I need a few pieces of paper. But if you don't have it, like your old socks that have holes in them that should be thrown away, it's a good fire starter. So very important tip is whatever you're planning to do when SHTF happens, like gardening or fasting or cooking from scratch or preserving or other things, don't wait to start doing them once it happens. Start practicing now, so when it happens you already have the skills, you already know how to do it. So train your body to be fasting sometimes. If you think you might have to skip meals later, don't wait until like, oh, when this happens then I might have to skip meals and I'll be able to do it. No, you won't be able to do it unless you practice it first. Because like if you practice like skipping like a meal or fasting for a day for whatever reasons you want to do it, if your body's adjusted to it, you'll be able to do it. But when your body's not used to it, because it's gonna be really a lot harder to do. So whatever you want to do it, practice it now, because it might be too late. And you might not have all the necessary supplies later on for when you just think you want to do gardening, canning, or whatever else you want to be doing later. You might not have any enough supplies for it, and when you practice it now, you already know what you need to make sure you have it. Okay, thanks you guys for watching. I really have to hurry and go. See you in the next video. On Friday I should be posting five what is it called, $5 Friday prep, something like that, so just watch for it.